In the latest beta version of Photoshop, Adobe have released something amazing. They call it Generative Fill, and it could change the way we work. And today we're going to find out just how good it really is. So let's take a step back. What exactly is Generative Fill, apart from being hard to say? It's Adobe's take on AI image creation, much like tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. The difference with this one though, it works in conjunction with your images. You're actually making changes to an existing file that you have, rather than creating something from scratch based on this text prompt. But it does work in the same way. You highlight an area, you give it a text prompt, magic happens. So let's begin with one of the more useful features of Generative. I'm just going to call it Gen Fill from now on. This is too difficult. Right, expanding a canvas. Take a look at this. I'm a little bit cropped off at the bottom here, and I'm not in the middle. So we can fix that. If you press C to bring up the crop tool, you pull that out slightly on that side, and slide that down. Right, that's how I should be composed. So let's see what we can do. So using the marquee tool, you want to select the background, the areas you want to expand the canvas into. You want to overlap slightly with the existing image as well. That gives better results. And then down in the context bar here, click Generative Fill, and then without putting anything in the prompt field, just click Generate. And this is where Gen Fill works its magic. And boom, there we go. So that's made extra image on the left side. It's completed the bottom of my shoes. Well, it's not absolutely correct, but it's close enough. If you didn't know as AI, you wouldn't know. And then it's also extended my reflection into the rocks down here, and added new rocks, of course. Everything's in the same lighting. Shadows are coming from the same direction as everything else. Lighting's on the left, so you can see down here in the newly created stuff, shadows are on the right, so that's all correct. It's even got my reflection in here. Pretty impressive. So let's try that again on this one. I'm cropped a bit tightly at the bottom here, so let's just pull down and create some new space. And then of course use the marquee tool to select the new background, overlap slightly into the image, click Generative Fill, and then just generate. Now the processing for this isn't happening on your computer. It gets sent away to the cloud. Adobe works its magic there and sends the results back to you. So depending on your internet speed, this could be quicker or slower. One usually takes around 15 seconds, but it depends on how much you're asking it to create and how complicated the image is. And bam, I have legs. And now every time the engine creates new stuff in your image, it gives you 3 options. So this is option 1, option 2, that's slightly better, and option 3. Yeah, I think I might be wearing Wellingtons in that one. So let's go back to that one. I think that's probably the best one. Again, it's not perfect, but if you weren't looking for AI clues, you wouldn't know. And of course, you can drag out this way as well. Just going to do the same thing. Marquee tool. Select the area, a little bit of overlap, it doesn't matter how much. Gen Fill, no prompt. Again, off to the cloud we go, and boom, skyline created. Now obviously that's not accurate to New York, but if you don't know what you're looking for, that's a suitable, solid, filled-in background. So if you needed this image to overlay some text onto, you've now got the space to do it. So that's creating new parts of your image. Another thing it can do is get rid of bits entirely. So let's try this. Let's get me out of the picture. You quickly draw around with the lasso tool. You don't need to be too accurate. Again, Gen Fill, no prompts, just generate. Let's see how it does with this. Wow. Quite impressed by that. Again, not perfect, but so look at the other options. Oh wow. Now obviously that's not accurate to what's actually there in New York, and if there wasn't such a recognisable skyline, it wouldn't be an issue. You'd be okay with this. Let's try another one. Right, who put that traffic cone there, honestly? Right, just quickly highlight that. Again, Gen Fill, no prompt, bang, generate. Again, fantastic. Now that would, it's going to save me so much time. I mean that, yeah. That's kind of good. So when this runs, it creates a new layer with its changes on top, and that's in a mask layer. So I'm going to turn that on and off. So that's before and that's after. I mean, that's not too shabby, is it? That's pretty good. There are other options. Let's have a look what option 2 was. I can't tell the difference. Option 3. Ooh, that might be better. So option 3, you've got more of a wheel nut here. and a little bit of wisp of tire smoke. So go back to 1. Yeah, smoother on this line here. I think option 3 takes it. Wonder if we can get rid of this GoPro as well. Quickly draw around it. Lasso tool. Gen fill. Generate. That's a fail. Option 2. There we go. Option 3. Now, if none of the first 3 attempts are any good, you can get some more. You can just click generate again up here, and it'll have another crack at it. That's not bad. It's added some sort of bracket there, but it looks pretty realistic. And then the other options are just plain paint. That's good, actually. I think option 1 on the retry is good because it's maintained the grain as well. Very cool. Okay, let's try adding something. Let's use those text prompts now and see what we can do with that. Now, I think this one is a Ford GT and it's exiting the pit lane at Silverstone, but we've got this rather empty bit in the background. So let's go to our lasso tool again. I'm going to be lazy and go for the straight line lasso. I'll highlight this area back here, just a few clicks. And then all the way around the outside and enter to join up. Right. Gen fill, large crowd of spectators. See what we get. Right. Not quite what I had in mind. No. Okay, let's try reprompting then. Grandstand full of large crowd. Generate. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if it understands the word large crowd. Let's go simple. Let's go spectators. Let's go crowd. Rest assured, folks, this is not the end of photography as we know it. Okay, let's go simple. Give me grass. I mean, seriously, grass. Come on, what other options have we got? Oh, better. That's actually quite realistic, that one. And option 3, oh, that's more lawn than grass. Could have a game of bowls on that. So you can see it has a good crack at most things, but it gets things wrong quite often. Let's go for something smaller and simpler. Let's go back to me down by the river. Let's create a selection up here. Now, as I understand it, the shape of your selection will affect the shape of what it creates. So let's give it a bit of dimension there. Generative fill and go for power station. Generate. Not terrible. Oh, I'll give it one more crack at that. Speed this along so you're not waiting. So you can see what it's trying to do. It's got the level of colour correct. The haze is there as well. It's got the right depth of field on it. It's just not 100% there. Let's go for one of the examples I've seen online. Let's go to the marquee tool, do a little block in here and go castle. And because it's AI, it can only pull from the data set that it's got. So if it's only got a few pictures of power stations to pick from, it's going to be limited. If it's got 1,000,000 castles, it should be better. So let's have a look. Yeah. No, that's a kestrel, not a castle. Nice try. And that's completely wrong. So it's fun, but I'm not sure it's useful yet. I am going to do this again though. Okay. Option 2. Right. I don't quite know what to say. So the AI looked at the scene, it looked at the water and the trees in the background and the shine of the river and the rocks in the foreground and thought, I'm going to put a dog there. It looks like a nice place to walk a dog. So it put in a dog. Oh, that has got to be worth a like. Okay, well, so that's generative fill in a Photoshop beta. Bit of a mixed bag, I think. Like all AI, it comes down to the quality of the prompts you give it, but magically making dogs appear is a new one on me. I'm sorry, I'm done. I think we found the thumbnail. I think we'll leave it there. That's Gen Fill in Photoshop Beta, and yes, beta, it's going to get better. It's not quite ready for prime time yet, but it is a bit of fun, and I think this could get really powerful. Now, as I promised, how to get hold of it. You need to be in the Creative Cloud app. You scroll down on the left-hand side to Beta Apps, and in there you find all of the pre-release versions, and the one you want is obviously Photoshop. Click on that, it will install, job done. So yeah, I think this is cool. I don't know how useful it is yet, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it to see how good this gets. But for now, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.